When have I been a candidate?
Have you been a catalyst?
Oh, catalyst.
Catalyst.
Excuse me. I'm old. I apologize for that. Let's see. One of the public service things that I do for the county is I serve on a board called the Pinal County Merit Commission. We're a group that is basically between human resources and the Superior Court system. We're a pretty diverse group. On that group, I'm a Republican. I was originally appointed to that commission by a Democrat. I was reappointed by another Democrat supervisor. And I serve on that commission with the chairman of the Democratic Party in Pinal County. When we hear a case, when we go up there to do a service, we're up there in the interest of the county and in the interest of the county employee. Our partisan feelings, we leave them at the door. We go in, we try to do what's best for not only the employee of the county, but what's also best for the county itself. That is a true bipartisan effort. I'm very proud of my association and my chairmanship on there. And I'm proud of the fact that I take a leadership role.
Thank you. Mr. Campos?
Do you read it again, please?
Yes. When have you been a catalyst who brought groups with polarized opinions together so that all voices were at the table?
I have several, but I'd say the most recent is the most limited to the example. Working on one of the presidential campaigns, since I'm sitting here when I'm still not working, that would not be the John McCain campaign. But I was able to bring various disparate groups of supporters of one of the other presidential campaigns, not only together to support the one presidential campaign, but when that candidate left the race, when John McCain secured the nomination, I was able to keep those people still active in the Republican Party. These are people that had severe disagreements with several of the candidates, several parts of the Republican Party platform, but I was able to convince them by showing them, by leading them, organizing, demonstrating that they can make a difference. They were people that were previously sitting on the sidelines, disgusted with politics, but through my leadership abilities, I was able to show them that they can make a difference. And approximately these 300 people, at least, we're still counting up the numbers after the last election, but at least 300 people who previously sat on the sidelines, who thought politics and what we do was terrible and that they could not influence us, I was able to show them that they can make a difference, and those people are still active, working towards a better Pinal, a better Arizona.
Thank you. Ms. Rios.
Thank you. I have a lot of examples, but I want to share one that is probably one of the most fondest and may sound a little funny. But oftentimes I get calls from constituents and they want a bill passed. And so I had a constituent actually here from Casa Grande, and she called and she was an equine dentist. And I didn't realize that horses actually had dentists. So I got this great education on equine dentistry. Fact of the matter is, there are a handful of practitioners in the state of Arizona, but they weren't allowed by law to practice their trade on horses. And so she wanted me to introduce a bill to allow that. Absolutely I did. I incurred the wrath of nearly every vet from across the state of Arizona. I got the board, the veterinarian board came down on me, and all that did was increase my resolve to get this done for a constituent. Dick Powell from the Casa Grande City Council helped us as well. We brought the stakeholders to the table. Veterinarians that were concerned about turf wars, concerned about losing money because they couldn't work on those horses, equine dentists, we sat there, and through weeks and weeks and weeks of negotiation, we were able to come to a consensus of a formulary of services that equine dentists would provide, that the vets didn't feel threatened by, and we passed that bill unanimously through the House and the Senate. I did that as a minority member, and mind you, this is with a lobbyist endorsing the Veterinarian Association, who was very powerful and represented the Medical Association, etc., etc. I bring that as an example to you to show you two things. I'm here to work on behalf of my constituents, regardless of the issue. I'm willing to learn. And secondly, that I don't have a problem going up against the big boys and the big lobbyists if it's something that's going to benefit constituents, and particularly rural rural Arizona farmers that didn't want to pay to have a vet do this, but rather had, equine dentists in their backyard that could do it. So that's a contentious issue. I was able to bring the parties along with and get every Democrat and every Republican to support it. And so I look forward to doing that in the future if you all have any creative legislative ideas. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bustamante.
Thank you. A couple years ago, as a labor delegate, we were hashing over trying to put together a benefit package for one of our, for Osarco, and one of the things that had us divided was some of the medical benefits. And I was able to pull people together because different states, Arizona and Texas and New Mexico, everybody wants something different, and it's being from a rural area, and those that live in the city, you have to find some type of a common ground. And we were able to get additional coverage that would take care of our ambulatory needs and get everybody satisfied. So that's just one episode of where pulling people together that have a different interest, a common goal together, and even though you're in the same house, so to speak, sometimes you have some differences, where people pull hard to their own side, and you gotta be able to work something out with a common goal in sight. So that's just one area during a contentious labor negotiation that I would cite that I was able to pull people together and get some accomplished.
Thank you. Mr. Comer.
When haven't I been a catalyst? Usually igniting rather than solving, but the reality of it is that I'm a catalyst every day, dealing with my employees and things of that nature. I serve on the board of directors for the Arizona Hearth Products Association. This is an association of retailers and manufacturers of wood-burning stoves. About 15 years ago, the government was looking to outlaw wood-burning stoves because of the polluting effect. It was my ability to reach over and get people together and get them to go to the government entities and to the Cancer Association and work out a plausible, workable arrangement where the stoves were created to a PM10 standard, which allowed us to all stay in business, all progress, clean the air up, and benefit. One of the strengths that I would have as a representative for Pinal County is my ability to understand and the perception of what the other person's argument is, to get them to understand my perception and the workability of the deal that I would put on the table that would benefit Pinal County. We need to get some of the money out of Maricopa County and Pima County. Being a member of the majority party will enable me to bring us additional funds that have not been brought in the past by the minority people who have represented Pinal County. I think that I can do that. But when we talk about catalysts and the opportunities to bring people together, nothing is ever harder than when I have to look at my granddaughter and say, sweetheart, Grandpa said, and get her to come along with me on that basis. I can work hard for you. I would work hard for you. I ask for your vote and your assistance. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ms. McGuire.
Yes, thank you. Right off the top of my head, that question brings to mind 3 different things that I've worked on most recently. One was the possible Superfund site listing of a copper mine in Pinal County. I was able to bring together leaders at a local, state, local, county, state, and federal level to all come together along with that company to come up with a successful remedial plan that enabled them to clean it up, if not as good as, if it were an NPL listing, as good as or better than. Excuse me. Personal for anyway, I'm sorry. But anyway, by them doing that and coming to that agreement and having that company step up to the plate and work out a means by where they could pay for it, it saved the state thousands and thousands of dollars and the federal government thousands of dollars, which the state didn't have to begin with. One other such issue was I had the opportunity and privilege of advocating for, with my seatmate Pete Rios, advocating for a successful outcome regarding legislation affecting the Eloy theme park. Without reaching across the aisle and talking to people in the Senate and the House and getting them to understand the need and the benefit of this theme park, that this would be our diamond in the desert, it wouldn't have come about. So it was a privilege and an honor to be able to achieve that with Pete at my side. Also, a community water issue, which now has been granted an additional hearing to try and resolve that problem for people that were used to paying $4.50 a month for water, and it skyrocketed to $45 to $55 a month. And they live on a very limited income, fixed income, mostly retirees. So by being able to speak to the Corporation Commission and working and lobbying them, we were able to come to a successful outcome on that as well.